I'm going to introduce you to 5 online coaches who all scaled their businesses using the exact same systems and principles I taught them. And today, they're going to walk you through the steps they used so you can apply them in your own business. These aren't influencers. They're not outliers. They're normal people who followed a proven process and built real businesses that gave them real freedom. And after helping thousands of coaches scale over the past decade, I can tell you with absolute certainty, the difference between the ones who win and the ones who stay stuck comes down to the strategies you're about to hear. But let me warn you, if you're looking for shortcuts, trends, or perfect timing, then this isn't that video. This is the truth behind what actually works in the online coaching space. And these 5 stories will show you exactly how to scale if you're willing to apply what they did. Now let's get into it. First up, we have Mouton. He took his coaching business from 5K a month to over 75K a month. He started with us actually after our most recent event in March this year. And in our following event, he's now basically 10x, actually more than that, 14x his business, and is scaling rapidly. He's revealed the exact secret and strategies that have now allowed him to blow up and have things like $14,000 days.
What an amazing day, right? Absolutely sick. Obviously, Charlie's team, thank you for arranging this. So my name's Chris. I come from Namibia. If you don't know where that is, it's an absolutely small little African country, pretty much just desert everywhere. But that's not important. Today's lesson, if you can call it that, is how I blew up my organic funnel and built a personal brand that absolutely prints money with very little effort. And I must be honest, I feel fortunate and blessed to be in the position that I'm in, but also I want to give you guys a skill set to somewhat replicate this. In the last 7 months, I've gained over 130,000 followers, 0 ads, extremely high profit margin. My cost to acquire a customer, very low. And I've done this through a repeatable system that is repeatable. Can I get a clicker? Thank you. So what's everyone's type of favorite bread? I like sourdough. Sourdough's nice, right? Who likes sourdough? Hands up. Sick. I like you guys. Thanks, Charlie. What's the little trick with this thing?
So you got to point it
directly.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sweet. Okay, cool. So realistically, 130,000 followers in the last 7 months with absolutely 0 ads. This is a screenshot from my professional dashboard. We have reached over 47 million accounts in the last 90 days. Now, it's pretty cool. Big number goes bigger. Yay. Where did I come from? So this is a chart from my monthly growth over the last 2 and a bit years. As you can see, from 2023 until 2024, jack shit growth, nothing. I posted every single day and was not rewarded for it. And a little bit of a disclaimer, you'd need to adopt this mindset that you will not see the results as you perform the things that you think you should be. You also deserve absolutely nothing, which was a difficult thing for me to grasp. It was difficult for me to understand that. 2024, I had a little bit of a boom. I don't know why I did. But then still, once again, I was averaging less than about 4,000 followers gained a month. But keep in mind, this is not keeping into account any unfollows. My account did not change at all. So if you're stuck with followers, this isn't an issue. But what changed? 2025, absolute fucking explosion of content. And I'll be sharing to you exactly what I've done to achieve this. Where did I come from? 2 years, 0 traction, no system, capped revenue, $5,000 to $8,000 a month. I also had no identity, very similar to what Veronica said. Many of you coaches here don't have an identity. And also had no leads. I was one of many in a massive pool. Didn't like that. I wanted to be the main character. The real problem that I saw and see with many online coaches today is you all have an ego with the content that you wish to produce. You want to make the most polished version, the piece of content that you want. Like you want to make something unique. You want something that is, I have poured in hours and hours of content into this thing. Why? The market tells you what it wants to consume. Why on earth do you guys bring pasta to an ice cream parlor? Now, I know this kind of sucks to hear, but it's very true. The moment I let go of trying to be different and embrace the fact that the formats already work on social media natively on Instagram, that is what I've adopted. Bam. I kind of feel like Harry Potter with this thing. I'm like, bazinga. Anyways, so I made a repeatable content system. I stopped creating for myself and I started creating for the platform. I also doubled down. Previously, I was a little bit split between Instagram, between TikTok, Instagram, and I was just trying to layer myself quite thin. I went all in on Instagram. Who knows this guy? Raise of hands. Cool. Ashton Hall. Ironically, I actually hopped on a call with his sales team before I joined Charlie. Thank God I didn't join. Okay, so as you can see the photo on your right, you can see the original content, ice bucket or ice whatever. He's absolutely milked it. What is mine? My massive breakthrough was this video. This is not the original video. I was just too lazy to find the original one. The first video that I posted reached 18 million views, and in that time I've repurposed that video a few times. But my breakthrough is that I found a format that absolutely performed better than all my others. Instead of trying to be unique once again, I doubled down exceptionally hard. I found one format. The format we're talking about, car in motion, someone driving the car, camera guy in the car, 45-degree angles, me running, muscles moving, sweaty, jacked, whatever. Cool. Short shorts help a lot. There's 3 main content types that you need to focus on to make this work and absolutely crush. What I'm going to be teaching you is how to get eyeballs, how to get these eyeballs to trust you, and how can these eyeballs connect with you. I almost forgot my own presentation. Wild. Type number 1 is educational sniper. I actually wanted to change this and I was too lazy. It is actually more value sniper. This is the content that most of you would be familiar with. It is educational style content or value style, so in terms of motivational posts. Now, an example of this would be common mistakes. Don't do X, do Y. Option number 2 would be myth or fact. So for example, eating carbs makes you fat. Option number 3 would be rating out of 10, my personal favorite. So if you go on my Instagram page at Chris Mouton, Mouton, you'll find that I do rating hybrid trends. Not only does it set you up for very educational, but it allows you to cover multiple topics. Option number 4 would be this or that. An example would be, do you prefer Rich Dad Poor Dad as a book compared to Scaling Secrets from Chris Branson? Okay, Chris Branson. And then you'd keep on reviewing different types of books until you get the ultimate winner. And number 5 would be step-by-step guides. The advantage of step-by-step guides would be that, hey everyone, in today's little video, I'm going to be sharing a 3-step system on how to blow your Instagram up. Step number 1, X. Step number 2, Y. You all are waiting for step number 5, keeps the viewer engaged. Cool. Does that make sense so far? In terms of educational value content. These are just 5 frameworks, one of many. Okay, the purpose of this is to attract new followers. But the issue is underlying that you've seen many influencers with 1 million followers and that are absolutely dirt broke. This type of content lacks connection and it lacks authority. Education will not build loyalty. However, it will open the door. So now we have a door open. What do we know? People buy identity and not information. You live in a world where information is widely available on AI and ChatGPT. Anyone can get information. You are not special for presenting that. What you are special for is storytelling. You all have a unique story. Veronica broke her ACL. Gigi, you were the size of a whale. Now you're quite lean. Well done. And all of you have a unique story that you are fortunate enough to share. I cannot emphasize this enough. Share your story. You are so unique. Some of you online coaches feel like you don't have a story to tell because you feel like copying every next thing. Do the shoulder exercise. Man, fuck that. Like, tell your story. Tell the things that you struggle with. Share opinions. People will stick around for your identity, your journey, and your vision. Stories create emotional bonds. So, frameworks that absolutely crush, please take photos of this. I've given you 4, and I think they work extremely well. The hero's journey. I can go over it a little bit, but if you've ever watched a Shrek movie, you know what the hero's journey looks like. Introduction, establish the hero, you or a client. Inflection point, what was the massive pain point that forced some change? The rising action, failed attempts and frustrations along the way. Climax, falling action, resolution. Use this for scripts, use this for story funnels, use this for carousels, use this. Big dream or the goal. Introduce the dream. I would love to be a Hyrox Pro. That's what I share a lot. The pursuit begins, actually starting to take it seriously. I did my first Hyrox Open. I did another one. I did a Hyrox Doubles. Now I'm like, all right, we ball. Now we go for Pro. Progress update. I'm in Dubai. I'm not training at all. What a fuck up. Audience involvement, invite them to join, whether it is to start a Hyrox, whether it is to get into hybrid training. By the way, for those of you who don't know, I do hybrid. So my main selling point is that I teach people how to run fast as fuck and be jacked as fuck and have a really good life doing that. That's what I do. The second, or number 3 and 4 of the frameworks, take a photo of this, is this, the challenge. So state the hard question or obstacle. For instance, is it possible for me to get Hyrox Pro ready while traveling to Dubai for 3 weeks? The exploration, break down the pain. I am not nearly as active and I'm not taking my training seriously. The result, low-key getting unfit, but damn am I getting shredded because I'm not eating. The realization that traveling and being a competitive athlete is very difficult. Empower your audience to not be a little bitch like Chris, for example, to make those things up. And then man in a hole, once again, create a comfort zone, cause a trigger, crisis recovery, a better place so that they can emerge. There are many, many, many more stories and frameworks that you could use. I implore you to do some research. Be curious about the possibility of getting a better way to tell stories. Okay, honorable mention to my growth. I got really fucking shredded. Like I walk around most days, sub 10% body fat, and I love the way I look. That truly, truly comes across in my content, and I could whip up a camera, and I'm confident to talk. I can stand in front of you and talk. Previously, I wish I added the photo of this. I really wish I did. I lived in Bali for the year of 2023. Sam, where are you at? Yeah, you saw how fat I was. You said, what is that thing that you said? You said that there you go. My physique did not come across on the camera. I was inflamed, I had a belly, but I was an online coach trying to sell people fitness. How ironic. I was fat myself. So getting shredded truly played a major role in my growth. The reality of social media is that people follow visible proof and visible standards. I set the standard to my clients. I was a walking pulpit. I was a walking testimonial time and time again. Your physique is your own social proof. Rock that shit, be proud of yourself. And if you aren't, fix it. Because it is up to you. Content type number 3 is authority. Sweet, so what have we covered now? We've covered top of funnel, how do you get as many eyeballs as possible. Now, secondly, we've covered what is a story. Tell a story about yourself so that people can find some sort of you guys are rock climbers. They put their little fucking thumb in like some little groove and they climb a rock. That's what you give these people when you tell a story, something to connect to. Okay, so we have eyeballs, we have connection. But that doesn't mean that you can help them get there. Content type number 3 is authority. Show the world that you are the absolute bomb.com. Never said those 2 words in my life. Here we are. Okay, examples of authoritative content is case study reviews, analyze other success and failures. What I mean by this is go look on Instagram. If there's a video that pisses you off or that is exceptionally well done, review that. Your own transformation, myself. So for those of you who don't know, I broke my spine. In 2023, I was left paralyzed for 6 weeks. I spent 6 weeks in bed. And I had to hire someone to carry my shopping bags. I was in no position to do anything. It was a really difficult time in my life. And then 8 months after that, I did a bodybuilding show. So personal transformation of just absolutely documenting your life. Personal transformation, I went from bodybuilder to Hyrox athlete. Then I did a ultra relay marathon, a 100-mile relay race. There's always transformation happening. Document your story. The third one, which most of you would be very competent in, would be client transformations. And then the fourth would be reaction content. Very similar to number 1, rip on others. If you see someone doing a full day of eating, I don't know if you have seen it, but if they document like a full day of eating, go through it and be like, hey, I'm going to be an online fitness coach and I'm going to assess how this guy's, what they're eating. I don't know, pick a trend. The function of this is that trust equals DMs, DMs equal clients. You need to build a cult. These 3 content types will allow you to do that. People desperately want to believe in something. That is the big reason why I feel like America is so divided, is that you get the Republicans and the liberals, and they absolutely love whichever side they are on, and they hate the other side. Create that dynamic within yourself. Polarity. You need to promise them the world, keep it somewhat vague, and whip up enthusiasm. I promise everyone that there's an actual dream of getting jacked and running fast. I'm not lying, it's true. You can achieve that. You get people excited. The goal is not to attract everyone. The goal is not to please everyone. The goal is to attract your specific people. Those who fuck with you will become lifelong fans. I have guys from fucking 2019 still like hard on my case. And the people who don't like you, sick. You've disqualified them already. How nice. Let's work for you. And that's the point, right? And if you struggle with the hate that you might receive from creating a polarizing effect, I truly believe that haters are just confused fans. Now, the biggest tip in actuality to achieve this is to create an us versus them dynamic. Strong opinions, take a stand. The fence sitters will fade. Those of you who do not have opinions or are too scared to share your opinions will fade into the darkness. I feel like that is a big thing why many of online coaches feel like they don't have a voice to be reckoned with. Call out bullshit all over the place. If you read any of my captions, I am very vocal in what I believe and what I think and my perception of the world. Challenge status quos. Expose what's broken in the industry. Personality pieces. Let your authentic self shine through. I'm a very quirky person. I don't always post it online, but I am. And I somewhat show that in different ways, whether it's my story or top of my bottom of funnel. Okay, who wants some sauce? You guys want some sauce? Tomato sauce, mustard, mayonnaise? No one? Sick. You guys suck. There we go. I saw someone. Oh, you were just stretching. Okay, guys, write this down immediately. So I'm going to give you guys a IG reel scraper. How can you see exactly what your competitors are doing or industry leaders are doing? So number one, go to Apify, APIFY, and you want to type in the Instagram scraper tool. Step number two is you're going to type in 2 to 3 competitors plus your own. And then you're going to extract the last 100 reels. I could probably share how to do this, but I don't think I have enough time. It's relatively self-explanatory. Pull the last 100 reels, including yourself. Export that to Sheets so that you can have all the information in an easy-to-read document. Then you want to calculate the view to like ratio. Alternatively, you could also use a view score. That's a little bit more in depth. But this view to like ratio should give you the easiest way to build content that will get you massive top of funnel. So obviously identify the posts that drive the biggest spikes in engagement. Identify the outliers. Take the top 10%. These are your blueprints. I encourage you all, blatantly copy the fuck out of these things. You are not unique. The type of content these guys are posting are not unique. What is unique is the messaging that you will put behind these pieces of content. The formats that they use, you will copy. The music that they use, you will copy. It'll be your content, your videos. It'll be your messaging. It'll be your caption. It'll be your call to action as well. That is how I believe you will get a huge top of funnel. A little bit of a tip for this is once you do this, you might not get immediate results. Once you do get results, double the fuck down on that. Play around later. Value bomb number 2. Post every day without creating every day. Who here hates creating content every single day? Do you guys feel like it's overwhelming and feel like you get burnt out? I do. I hate it. So, one thing that I just want to share is your core message will not change. What will change is the vehicle in which you deliver it. Okay, the photo over here needs absolutely zero introduction. I've taken my top performing reels that have given me the most followers per post. You can see 3 different colors on there. It's going to be purple, blue, and yellow. I've blatantly recopied them and reposted them. So if a video is older than 8 to 12 weeks, I have zero shame and zero hesitation to re-upload the exact same video with the exact same caption. I will use the same text on screen, or what I'll do is I'll make minor tweaks. A little tip for you: when you guys export B-roll content, export it with the text on screen and export it without the text on screen so that you can slap on different shit to make it a whole new video. I'll take the same text and place it over new B-roll content, or I'll slightly tweak the pacing or the angle or the clip sequence so that I get a whole new clip. If you can see over here, based off the top, I get about some of these go from 800 followers per post to up until 6,000. It's really easy just to repeat this. And you can see the yellow post, same fucking angle, different caption with one of them. Purple, same fucking angle, different caption. Blue, blatant copy. You know the nice thing is, people really don't give a shit about you. They don't copy you. They don't psychoanalyze you. They do not watch the content that you post. They like it, they swipe it, they follow. And they forgot. I forget the content that I post. Do you think these people don't forget what you post? Okay, a philosophy that actually changed everything for me. Your best ideas do not expire and will not expire. Your audience will not remember content from 12 weeks ago, let alone, I don't even remember content that I posted last week. The algorithm doesn't care if a video is old. A strong personal brand is not a novelty. I wanted to say something now. Forgot. Okay, so the organic funnel. So 3 types of content that work well together to create one unstoppable outcome. You want to create educational content as the top of funnel to get lots of eyeballs. You want to create storytelling to create a strong connection. You want to create authority content so that people give a shit and trust you. Content equals conversations. Conversations equal clients. Do you know what clients equal? Money. Cool. So the final line that I just want to say here is the system really didn't just grow my following. It's not just a numbers game for me. It really built an entire brand. I am widely respected with anyone who really comes across me. They look at my page like, sick, this guy knows what he's talking about. I see the results, they're like, hey, cool, this guy's legit. Companies, I get hundreds of DMs of companies that want to work with me. I don't accept any of them because I can't afford me. It allowed me to absolutely dominate my niche, and I'm excited for the growth that I have and I'm going to experience. So all of this was 0 ads, high profit, pure organic funnel. I've only started to do ads this month, and it gives you such a nice safety net to know people give a shit about you. You're able to build a strong personal brand, and it's not just coaching, it's you.
So you've seen Chris's success. If you want the exact same success he's had and the systems that we applied, there's information to us how you can work with us at the bottom of this video. Now, one of the biggest lies people have when it comes to scaling and coaching business is you need to have a huge audience. This guy completely breaks the mold. Giacomo came to us 4 months ago, 800 followers. In his first month, he did $17,000. Month 2, he went to $30,000. And 4 months later, he still only got 2,000 followers, but he's done $64,000 in his coaching business with less than 2,000 followers. And if you want to find out exactly how he did this, check out this video now.
Man, cool. Yeah, so I don't have a slide deck to show you. So this will just be me telling my story, and hopefully it's entertaining for you. Let's see. Started in physical therapy. So I had chronic pain for like 5 years, and I was a teenager when I first got it. So like, talk about ego deaths. Like I've gone through like 4 ego deaths since I was like 20. So just whoever I thought I was, that was gone every year pretty much. But fitness was always a constant. It was always like a common denominator. And I got into physical therapy because I wanted to heal myself. Nobody else could do it for me. Like I went to PTs, physicians, chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists. They all sucked. And so like early on, I was like, okay, these people are incompetent. Like they don't know what they're doing. I'm 15 and they can't help me. Okay. So I'm going to become a better physical therapist that can help that 15-year-old. Okay. So I get accepted in the PT program at like 17. And so my path is kind of paved for me from an early age. 17. I don't know, like the guys in here, when you're 17, you're an idiot. Right? Like you don't know shit. but I had my path paved for me. So I get into college, and at that point, I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Like it never helped me. Why am I doing this? So I started doing like pre-med and other things and looking around. Eventually found somebody. I found a mentor, and he helped me heal myself. So I was like, okay, PT clearly isn't it. So let me switch gears and do something else, but I'm already in this program, so let me just finish it. So I got my doctorate, and people like, they told me, oh, it's going to be so hard. It's so competitive, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe anybody. Like they all want to listen to their own self-doubt. That's cool. Waste your time. Not for me. Okay. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to move on. So get my doctorate. I was the youngest in my class, like 22. And right before I graduated, I did a bodybuilding show just for the hell of it. I was bored. So do a bodybuilding show, got second, it's pumped. But then I had to go and do a PT job. It's like, oh, this fucking sucks. I don't want to do this. So I was interested in online coaching, probably 2022, I think. But I didn't really do it. Like I just kind of had the idea. I was like, oh, one day I'll do this business. One day I'll do it. And I had like 1 or 2 clients that like was just a friend, you know. And then in February of 2025, okay, I'm like, okay, I got to do this business for real. So let's actually take action. Let's start posting. I literally started posting in February of this year. Okay. every day. And I had a friend, he kind of was like trying to help me with business stuff. And he would tell me, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And he helped, no doubt. But I wasn't getting any leads. I wasn't getting any clients. I used TikTok. People told me, oh, TikTok, you'll blow up. So I go on TikTok and I'm on live scrolling through. I'm like, these people are so boring. I could do a way better job. So I start going on TikTok and I'm going live and I'm getting leads now. I get some clients, like 5, 6. This is February, okay? Still not making much money though, because I don't know the systems. Like I'm charging people monthly. It's just a disaster. Okay. People falling off, coming back on. Like it was really just like stressful because as soon as I got somebody, I was like, okay, hopefully they stay. And then I got banned from like shadow banned on TikTok so some of the guys tried to scam me and then they blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. So now my one lead source was gone. Okay. TikTok live was gone. So I said, okay, well, now what do I do? Maybe I got to do paid ads. Maybe that's it. Okay. Then I got a Instagram ad from Charlie. And I was like, oh, all right, this guy, I get it. He gets it. Let me just see what it's all about. Okay. So I go on the call. Me and Sam, we started talking. And I'm like, yeah, dude, this is all I want to do. Like, you don't have to sell me. He literally didn't have to sell me at all. I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. Let's just do it. So I started. That was July. Okay. So I started my business really in March. That's when I quit my job. So didn't have enough money to do my own business, right? But I quit my job because I was like, I need to put energy into this or else it's not going to grow fast. And like, I'm all about speed. Like, I don't want to wait, okay? So I quit my job in March. It's 8 months ago. 4 months of trying it on my own didn't work. So I said, okay, I clearly don't know about this stuff. Go to Charlie, right? Enter the program in July. That's 4 months ago. After 3 weeks, I made 10K. Okay, so we go into 7-figure now. After a month, I made like 30K. After another month, I made 40K. And last month, I did 66. Okay. Honestly, I wish I could tell you this is exactly what you need to do. Look, I believe in myself. Like, that's number one. You got to believe in yourself. I have high self-esteem. My parents love me. Okay. I am blessed. Like, they always give me praise. That's great. And I know how much that matters. I'm not going to stand up here and be like, it's all me. Like, no, I had great parents. They love me. Like, wasn't a perfect, my parents split when I was 7, but they both love me still. That's the point, right? The self-value. If you don't value yourself, you're not going to go anywhere. Why would anybody listen to somebody that doesn't believe in himself and value themselves? Okay. So the value you have in yourself is the value you can put into your product, and then you can turn that into a money machine. Okay. One other thing I want to say, and like, I don't have much else, but I could go on here for years, but basically I'm good at being bored and I'm good at doing a shit that's boring. Okay. Once I found out, right, this is how I started making money. Once I found out that you have to converse with people in order to book a call, in order to get them to make money, that's all I did all day long. Like, I woke up at, Charlie said to work out in the morning. So like, okay, I'm going to shift my workouts to the morning. That way I can focus the rest of the day on doing what makes money. Okay. What makes money? Getting calls booked. That's it. How do you get calls booked? You got to talk to people. How do you talk to people? Just be a person. Okay. If you can be a person and just talk to people, and then you get your setters to do that, like, that's it. Okay. I will do DMs forever because I know that's what's going to make me money. And it's not fun. Like, you don't really care about what these people are saying, but you get interested in it. If you get interested in what they are, that gets them excited. Now they want to talk to you more. And now you can literally people tell me on my calls, I'm here because you know how to talk. Like, you're easy to talk to. I like how you explain things. You're very kind. That's it. Just be a person. That's how you market. It's boring, but it works. It gets results. All right. I'm trying to take this thing to the next level. Like, 66K is cool and all, but I'm at a 1 out of 10 right now. Like, I'm trying to make $2 million a month. That's the goal. So I still feel like I'm just starting out, and obviously it's 4 months in, like, yeah, I am. But this is just the beginning. And like, I don't know, maybe this is inspiring, or maybe you're like, this guy is just, I don't know, like a psychopath. But you can do whatever you want. You're the only person that's limiting yourself. Like, you are the limiting factor. If you're a business owner, you are the limiting factor. You have all the resources around you. If you're here, you have no excuses. These people know what they're talking about. So you know what you need, get the answers, and then go do it. That's it.
Now, we've seen 2 guys been successful, and you might be wondering, does this work for women? And the answer is yes. A great example of this is Veronica. Veronica comes from a very small village in Austria, and she scaled her coaching business from $2,000 a month to over $40,000 a month and moved to Dubai. This is in a matter of a few months. She's going to break down exactly what she did, how, and this is a very articulate presentation where you can take away a huge amount of value.
Hi, I'm Veronica Kreidl. And I know it's been a long day already, so I want to keep it really short. I want to actually walk you through yourself. But before I do that, I want to kind of speak about who am I and why am I standing here right now and what actually got me to be presenting yourself today. So as you can see, I've been the first place in the world ranking of WACO, World Association of Kickboxing Organizations, for over 5 years. I've been doing kickboxing my entire life. And then I actually tore my ACL. If it works, maybe not. Nice. All right. So as y'all can see, I started kickboxing when I was 3 years old. Pretty much got to decide if I want to do kickboxing my entire life, and decided by 5 I want to do it professional. So what happened was literally kickboxing became my entire personality. And it was pretty much since I was 5 years old, 25 hours training in a gym, doing kickboxing, fighting others, going home, eating healthy, pretty much not really having a life next to each other. By 8, I started coaching other people, from tiny little athletes to actually grown-up 50-year-olds. And they all been listening to me till I became the first place in the WACO world ranking for over 5 years. And then ACL was torn. Amazing. That is like literally the snapshot that got me from feeling like, all right, I'm literally on top of this world, to feeling like shit. I was scared that my whole entire career was done because, of course, kickboxing was my entire life. I had nothing else than that. Was not really focusing on school because kickboxing was my life. What the fuck? And then I decided, let's actually kneel down. Let's actually help others perform their life and get to their peak. Nowadays, I have a community of over 500,000 followers on Instagram, YouTube, and so on and so on. Pretty much, that is my story. Great. So, why is this important? I just really quick want to talk about why you're important, why my story is important. So at the end of the day, it's about branding yourself. There's 1,000 other coaches, literally say that on every single sales call. Why would you want to choose me? And if you can't brand yourself, if you don't know who you are, nobody's going to believe in you. You're the first person who gotta be standing behind your branding, who gotta believe in yourself, and then attract the right clients. Also, one thing I really realized, you don't want to do just posting a ton of stuff, hoping that there's going to be 1,000 people going to buy into it. What I do by myself is pretty much I post really weird content sometimes. So everybody that hasn't checked me out, check out my videos. I do a lot of mobility, a lot of standing on dumbbells, kicking, and all of those kind of things. But you also want to be building trust. So today I'm kind of going to walk you through personal branding and connecting it to really give value to people that buy into your systems. Great. So first of all, look into your personal brand. So what I did is at the end of the day, and I'm sure every single person in here has struggled with one single point before they came here, and you overcame it. Whatever that single point is, you want to be posting for your past self. You want to help people to overcome the things you've been struggling before. That's authentic. That's easy to post about because you know what the fuck you're doing. You can't be posting, for example, I couldn't be posting about a 50-year-old getting a child and how to get fit afterwards. Like, I don't have a child. I'm 22. What the fuck do you mean? I couldn't tell you how to get your belly flat after you had a child. I can tell you how to get to the fucking world champion. I can tell you how to get your peak performance to be reached. And one thing that I can all tell you, I think I didn't join in a single trend that ever been on this planet. And still I have 500,000 followers. So don't post an aesthetic day in my life. A post about yourself. Post about what you stand for. Every single person has a different story, and that is what makes you unique. And there's going to be people that see you as this person, have the same struggle, and want you to help. And just like a side note, I told you about my cringe posts. It's going to be cringe, and it's going to be people laughing at you at the gym, like literally every single second when I go there and I film my content in TK now in Dubai. When I first came here, I felt freaking cringe. People nowadays come to me and want to speak to me after I film because it's different. It's interesting. And that is what makes you stand out. It's not about you making a glute session, one of a trillion glute session, like I think we had too many of them anyways. Great. All right. But like on top of this, you being an amazing person is always you actually helping the client. So at the end of the day, you can be this athlete that is amazing, posting content, how to kick and standing on a dumbbell. But if you don't help them to actually get there before they even buy into your content, it's not going to help. People have to see the value. So first things, you want to teach them something valuable. You want to show them exactly how to get there. And you don't want to be posting like, let's say, a glute session with like 3 exercises you can do. You want to actually solve their problem. So for me personally, I'm posting a lot of flexibility. A lot of people go into the gym, they train their muscles, they get strong. It's amazing. But then they forget to actually be functional about it. They sit at home and they can't even put on their shoes anymore. So they come to me and I'm showing them on my videos first on how to get your hamstrings mobile again. Be specific. As mentioned before, Jordan he said it, there's a lot of potatoes out there. And at the end of the day, people don't know how it works. So you want to kind of give them an easy to-do list, easy to perform, like as if they would just like stand on this point and can actually perform it right now. Make it as easy as possible, describe it as good and easy as possible, because if there's one single thing missing out, then they're not going to do it. They might save it like 1,000 other posts they already saved, but they're not going to follow it. So make it easy to access right now. And then build trust. I have a huge following on YouTube too. It's not as huge as on Instagram. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of clients that go into my YouTube, do my workouts. I post follow-along workouts. And then after 2 or 3 months, they come back and like, okay, so I've been doing your YouTube workouts. It worked already for me. How can I get to the next level? So pretty much I give them tons of endless value. And that's what you want to be doing. You want to build trust before you even sell them into your business. Great. Now, we want to mix this up because you still want to be kind of yourself and not just posting endless glute workouts. So what do? Your voice. At the end of the day, there's a lot of videos with like viral trending music. Yes, it can give you a lot of views. But at the end of the day, if people never heard your voice, they're going to make something up in your brain. And your voice kind of makes it unique. It makes them connect to yourself. Same thing with your eyes. So if you look into their eyes, we can look into our eyes right now. So just really make it easier for them to see you even though they're on a screen. Share your energy. So at the end of the day, standing there being like stiff and talking to a camera won't be really interesting for most people. We have a short amount of actually listening to videos anyways, and we swipe over after just a second if the video seems uninteresting. So be passionate about it. And if you feel like, oh my God, you're all over the moon, at the end of the day, through the screen, it is always different. So maybe go a little bit more over the moon than not bring around any passion at all. It can be cringe. you're allowed to be cringe. Great. So combine it. For me personally, I found the best way, as you can see on this dumbbell standing thingy, I do a visual hook. I go ahead and really have some crazy things on my account. And afterwards, I kind of show them how they can actually get there. So no, I don't want to have clients standing on a dumbbell, but I at least show them how to kick higher, how to have the mobility to do it, or even the balance to get there. And again, make it as easy as possible. Tell your story. A lot of clients I am even walking through with like military guys. I have guys that actually are pro athletes nowadays. I'm currently walking a woman through her ACL surgery, so she didn't even get to a physiotherapist. She's actually working one-on-one with me because she feels like she has more trust in myself. So at the end of the day, the struggles you've been going through are pretty much the one things that you can really help people to overcome nowadays. That's why you want to sell your story. You want to be truthful. Don't lie about things, but be authentic. So yeah, just to finish this up and really say at the end of the day, what I want to say, you are the brand. It's not a color. It's not how your thumbnail looks like. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's the feeling you give those people. And for me personally, I would say that's the best freaking thing, because if you're authentic, you attract exactly the clientele you want to have anyways. Thank you.
The biggest reason most coaches don't succeed is limiting beliefs and fear. The next speaker we have is Wennner. He came to us at making $15K a month. He's now scaled his coaching business to over £200,000 a month. He's explained his journey in terms of how he has grown, overcome his fears, and gone from basically sleeping on a gym floor to making over $200,000 a month coaching online.
Okay, so I'll be totally honest. When Charlie asked me to do this talk, the first thing that I thought was, fuck no, I'm not. No way am I getting up on stage and talking in front of loads of people. This is the first time that I've done it. So my confidence, if you put me in a room with my computer, I can do amazing things. But put me up in front of people like this, then that's when I feel vulnerable. And that's just because of what I'm going to talk about a little bit today. The second thing that went through my mind was like, what do I even talk about? Because to get the business to where it is now, there's just so many different intricacies involved in that process that I feel like I couldn't actually deliver the value that you guys deserve within a 20-minute, 10-minute talk. So what I'm going to talk about today that I genuinely believe, as a lot of the guys have spoken about today already, it's the most important thing out of everything. Because many, many years ago when I was young, all I ever wanted to do was play football. I failed at everything. School, anything I tried, I failed at. And football was the only thing that really like lit me up, and I was obsessed with it. I play it every single day. And technically, from an ability level, I would say that I was better than anyone that I knew. The problem was I didn't have the mindset, and I felt so low in self-esteem, so low in self-worth, that whenever it came to like a trial at a professional club, I would perform at 10% of what I thought I was capable of doing. And that basically meant that regardless of how good I was, I never showed up as I thought that I could. So, thank you. Yeah, but I never showed up at the potential that I had, to be fair, it didn't matter how good I got. I was never going to fulfill the potential because my self-worth was so low that I would just crumble under pressure. So that kind of set me off on a path. So by 15 years old, I'm going to go through my journey in a minute. By 15 years old, I was going to psychologists to try and, like, when I say I started at the very bottom with confidence, like, it was right at the bottom. So like I was going to psychologists by 15. By 17, I put myself into 2 years of therapy. By 19, I'm 32, by the way. I had my first personal development mentor to help me with kind of overcoming these roadblocks. And I've pretty much spent my whole 20s doing everything to kind of overcome these internal battles. Like I've done hypnotherapy, different types of therapy. I still do therapy today. And I've done endless psychedelic therapies, which have been one of the most game-changing things. And all of this has just been about changing identity. And the one thing that I've never been fearful of is just losing old identities. And like my missus will joke and say, I'm a new person every year. And I'm kind of like, that. I like that because that means that I'm growing as a person. And that means that, you know, I'm kind of peeling back the layers where eventually I'm going to get to that potential, which, you know, I feel like I've come a long, long way. I'm going to show you the kind of journey. You know, like if anyone's kind of waiting for me to talk about like funnel tactics or sales, I think this is so much more value. I'm happy to talk on the boat about like what we've done to hit 200K. But I'll just tell you a little bit about the business growth. Not working. Yeah, all good. It works. Yeah, apparently. Okay. So, yeah, so I started Alpha 21, which is the coaching program we run. I started that 2.5 years ago. We started with no clients because I just basically abandoned my gym. I used to run a gym. We started with 0 clients, and over the past 2.5 years, we've built that to 500 clients. We've gone from obviously 0 revenue to we just hit about 1.5 mil this year, and 200K was in October. A little bit about like, because for me it's far more than the money. Like the money's like great, like, but really the big win is what the freedom that it's given me. I have 2 kids, so it's like I haven't had a holiday for most of my life in which I've been able to actually switch off because I've always run my own business. So beyond the 200K income, I went on holiday with my kids without looking at my phone and came back and we had 50K more in the bank and everything ran smoothly. So that's the biggest win, is getting to the point where I still work a lot because I'm a bit of an addict, but I have the option to have days off. And that's purely just from putting in the groundwork, overcoming these internal self-limiting beliefs, these kind of subconscious programs, which I've just spent my entire adult life basically committed to overcoming those over and over again and leaning into fear. That's the biggest thing. Like, as I said to you before, like getting up here is probably the biggest resistance I've ever felt in my life. And it might sound small to some people, but I have to do this because on the other end of that is another layer peeled back. Yeah. And so I know there's going to be a lot of people here thinking like, you don't want to step into things like this. You don't want to lean into that resistance, but that literally is where the growth is. It's kind of like the weight on a barbell. Like the growth comes from the resistance. To me, it comes from just constantly being uncomfortable and seeking out resistance, which we're going to dive into a little bit here. So a little bit about my journey. So obviously I run Alpha 21. We work with men over 35. As I said, over the past 2.5 years, we've gone from 0 to 1.5 mil. Where I started, kind of spoke to you about that. Like, as I've been doing these kind of mindset therapies to help me overcome these internal beliefs for a very, very long time. I spent my young kind of 15 to 18, because I was so, because I lack so much self-worth, I pretty much just ended up taking a lot of drugs and spending most of my time in Ibiza, and just drinking a lot, even though I don't really like alcohol, but I would just do that to kind of escape how I felt. And like I say before, like I kind of said before, when I say I started at the very bottom in terms of mindset, like I genuinely mean that. Like, I was, the confidence was so low I could barely look people in the eye. I could barely kind of string together a conversation without crumbling. And so it's been a long, long journey, but it's obviously been well worth it. And the biggest turning point for me was becoming a father. Like, it was kind of at that point of 21 years old where I realized, like, it was, I'm not saying anyone has to go and have kids to get motivated, but for me, it was like, it's bigger than me. And if I can't step outside of my comfort zone and show my kids were child at the time, I'm not brave enough to kind of step into those limiting beliefs and overcome them and constantly push myself, then what kind of example am I setting? So this was the biggest turning point at 21, where I really just sacked off anything that was a distraction, really. I've not really drank since that. I've not taken any drugs apart from psychedelics. That's led me down the path of kind of growing multiple businesses, really. So the first business was a personal training business. All I've ever done is fitness, because I didn't really know anything else. I was a personal trainer for like 6 years. I built a business out of my front room here, where I equipped it with full gym kit. I had about flipping 8 pieces of machinery in this tiny room. And then eventually I opened up a gym facility there. That was in 2019. That was like a big step for me to open up this new facility. We was absolutely booming. We went from like 30 clients to 100 odd clients. And I thought like I was balling. I thought I'd absolutely smashed life. And then COVID came and obviously shut everything down. And that we went from 100 odd clients to 0 clients. And if I hadn't have built such a kind of mindset of resilience, where I truly believe like there is no limit to what I can achieve, purely because I've just done the work to shed that kind of internal baggage that makes me lack any belief in myself. As soon as that happened, and without kind of like going into like deep victimization, where I just feel like, my life's going down the pan, I'll never be successful, I'll never make anything work, it immediately flipped things. So we ran the gym for a little bit longer, but I started building the online side of things. I then created Alpha 21. I put a lot of education into being able to deliver a good service. Like, I believe that's the foundation of what we do. And then I started Alpha 21, right? And that's again 2.5 years ago now. And throughout this process, I'm going to go through kind of like what I believe are the 5 mindset foundations for me, like that I feel like will add value for you guys, right? Throughout this whole process, I've never stopped. I read a lot of business books. I'll do a lot of business courses, but I've never stopped reading to equal levels, books about emotional intelligence, about how to handle emotions, how to understand when you have an emotion or a thought that isn't serving you. For example, getting up here, I had all the thoughts and emotions to not do it and just, stay comfortable and not step out of my comfort zone. All of those were still there, but I had to do it anyway, because it's about identifying them when they come and then acting anyway. And that's what you have to do in business constantly. When Charlie gives you something to go and do, it's easy to go, oh, well, I don't want to do that. That's not me. Or you just hesitate. And that's the biggest thing that will slow you down. It's just not doing those little tasks. Because, I had a friend of mine who was at the exact same level I was speaking about before. He does a very similar business to me. He was at the exact same level as I was 2 years ago. Same income, same client base, same level of results, I'd say. Only he was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to DM people. That's just not me. I don't want to do. I just said, fuck that. I'm just going to do everything, no matter what. No matter how much I hate it or how uncomfortable it makes me. If I'm not happy with where I am now, then I'm willing to constantly lean into that resistance as much as possible and just suck it up until I'm outside of it, and then it's easier. So that's one of the biggest lessons, which I'm going to go into in a minute, is just identifying when these thoughts and emotions are coming up. Are they real? They're pretty much like never real, to be honest, because we're never actually under threat. Just it's our own psychology getting in the way. This is COVID. Sorry, I forgot to share this. We moved into the gym during COVID because we wanted to wake up at 5 o'clock. I think it's quite fitting. It actually says hustle on the TV screen there, because we literally had to move into the gym after COVID. We had no income. And we basically stayed there for 6 months, waking up at 4 a.m, starting work at 5, and then just going to bed and just doing it over and over and over to build this online program, right? So there's been a lot of times throughout this process where it's been like, we're doing well, and then we just pull back to the earth, and then we have to start again. It was just all about how the kind of groundwork I'd put in on my mind to just have constant belief that I'll make it work. And that's where I'm at now today, is that I just believe that there's no limit to where things can get to, purely because I've done that work to strip away over a long time, right? It doesn't have to be that long. I'd like to think I could have done it a bit quicker, but Yeah, sorry, we've been through that. It's the biggest lesson of all this, and that is a quote I heard. Was kind of alluded to by Ibrahim before, is that most people don't have business problems; they have personal problems, and that affects the way they show up in business. And that's why I believe so much that this deep work is the most important work to do, because it doesn't matter how much information you get from Charlie or anyone else. If you're not going to do it, it's not going to work. At the end of the day, if you're going to hesitate or have these limiting beliefs that mean you can't ask for a certain amount of money on a call, or you're going to kind of lack confidence in delivering a service to people, that's what's going to get in the way of you showing up at your absolute best and actually, reaching your potential. Yeah. So I love that quote because it was so true for me throughout many years of doing business. And I feel like so many people come into mentorships like this where all the tools are there. And the reason why some people excel and some people don't, it's purely to do with your mindset around it and how quickly you act, how quickly you lean into resistance. And that's literally the difference. That's the only difference. So I'm going to go into some kind of like 5 foundations that really, really helped me. But this is kind of personal and company, is personal mission and also the company mission. And that's kind of like, company and personal. And that was kind of like knowing the mission and knowing what your vision was. I did a process in 2019 where I woke up every day and I just wrote down for like 3-4 pages the exact, kind of like Charlie got us to do before. I wrote down in detail the exact life, more so about myself. How do I want to be? How do I want to show up as a business owner, as a dad? And I just did it every single morning for 6 months, to the point that it was so ingrained into me that I just had this image in my head all the time. And that basically just played into every action that I had day to day, because it was so embedded that I sacked off things that were not serving that vision, both company and personal. And everything was just so much more focused. That's one simple practice I would recommend everyone do, is just isolate what you want everything to look like. What are the most important things? Isolate it, write it down. It'll be scrappy at first, but just keep doing it over and over and over until it becomes so embedded that everything you do is kind of driven by this vision you want for yourself. And it will mean when you reach resistance, like getting up and doing a talk like this, it's like, well, the vision is bigger than the kind of reluctance to get up and do it. Like, once I've done this, it's going to be easy. And that's the way I see it. Is like, you just have to get over the hurdle of doing all these uncomfortable things over and over, and then it's absolutely fine. And that's like, it's like stepping through a wall into an upgraded version of yourself. That's the way I see it. It's like we have infinite alternate realities that could happen, infinite. And it's your thought, it's kind of your thoughts, but thoughts can be deceiving, but it's really your thoughts and then your actions off the back of that which determine which reality you enter. And that's the way I see everything. So I just make sure I have my mission and vision in my mind at all times, and I'm acting in alignment with that as much as I possibly can. Big thing for me is impact first. So like, a lot of people are trying to build a business, and this is going to play into every kind of interaction you have with clients. Is like, a lot of people are trying to build a business where, okay, the money is really, really good, but the impact is going to be so, you need to have you need to be able to like have something bigger than some money, right? And what we do, I truly believe in what we do. Like, there's a mission behind what we do, as we said before, because I isolate a problem in the world, which is a major problem, and I feel like we are an answer to that problem, and I believe in the outcome of that because I have 2 kids, and the future of health in the world is not that great right now. So like, the biggest thing for me is to make sure there's a better foundation for my kids, and so impact first. Like, I put results before anything, and that means when you have sales calls with people, you can drop, like we charge 5.5K GBP to people, and it took a while to get up to selling at that point. But what allows me to sell at that point is that the confidence I have that we impact lives in like a way that's far beyond, typical just losing a few kilos. For a bit of like understanding of what we do, is we run a men's health program, but we work through like functional medicine guidelines. So we use like blood work to identify health issues, and we help people kind of eliminate a lot of health issues. The results are sometimes, I don't think that, sometimes I think, are we that good, or is the medical system so bad that like we can just fix problems fairly easy? Because we get people who have been chronically ill and reverse it within 6 months, off all medications, no symptoms, within 6 months, just from doing lifestyle changes. But they don't get told that through the medical system. So I have a drive to change that in the world, and that's kind of what gets me to show up and do the work every day. Hopefully I'm not rambling on here. Chase resistance, I said this before, like the one thing that all of the internal work has done for me is allow me to just not even just lean into resistance, but actually try and find resistance. Because if I'm too comfortable for too long, I know I'm not growing at all. So like I will seek out the opportunities for me to step outside of my comfort zone, because when you do that, you peel back those kind of subconscious programs that you tell yourself that you kind of, most people don't, well, they're subconscious, so you don't know they're happening, but they're playing to every action that you have. So seek out discomfort as much as you can, because once you've been uncomfortable in that situation, then you won't be after that, and that will help you show up and perform and become more and more authentic the more that you do that. Next one. That's the biggest one. Like, honestly, with the resistance side of things, I truly believe, like, if we just fucking ran at the hard shit in our life as hard as we possibly can, rather than like holding off and not leaning into it, we'd be. I could have got to where I am now 5 years ago if I'd have done that from the start. And it's just been a matter of, getting through that slowly and working on myself constantly. Self-growth. I don't believe, as I said, your business will only go as far as you'll go. And the way I was probably even a year ago, it would never get there, because mentally there were still things that I weren't doing. I'm still not perfect now by any means, and I'm still working. I still do continue to do all the work that I'm doing currently. But what this has done is completely be able to rewire my brain and just perform much better in business. And one of the biggest things, I spoke to you about a psychologist I went to when I was 15. He got me to do a visualization. It was football, right? So he got me to do a visualization of me scoring a goal, playing football, like going inside, like trying to score a goal. I physically couldn't imagine myself scoring a goal, which is a reflection of how low my self-confidence was and how much my head had just getting away. Now, it's just so easy, because I put so much work into training the subconscious that I just think it's only a matter of time before I get to where I want to get to. It's not like if it will happen, there's no lack of belief at this deeper level that it will happen. It's just a matter of time, purely because I've just done all the kind of dog work on it. And like I said, I'm not there yet, but business is the biggest thing. You are the center of the business. And it's just constantly about evolving. And that's mainly to do with the mind, right? This is a big one for me. So I'm obsessed with optimization. So I obsess over fine details within the business, within my life in general. But I will always, like, the biggest thing that was the biggest lever for us with growing was a specific form of marketing through a VSL funnel. Many of you will have heard of this. That only came about because we had our Instagram account banned for 3 months, just out of the blue. So all of our income was gone, and we had literally no option. Now, I could have fallen into Aidan probably will tell you, I did fall into a bit of a panic briefly, but I just very quickly switched and built the VSL funnel within like a week. And then from there, we went from 50 to maybe 130K over the next 5 months, just because of taking action super quick, getting the thing out, and just make it. And then what that will do is give you a test. It will give you data, and then you just fine tune everything. So obviously you can go through all the finer details. Like if we're talking about the funnel in particular, you can just get the thing, take action, don't hang about and let your limiting beliefs stop you from just getting something out there and starting to move. Because as soon as you start moving, you'll get the data back, and you'll be able to fine tune everything you're doing. So whenever you get a bit of information, just do it without talking yourself out of doing it. If Charlie's giving you something or Aidan's telling you to do something, just action it, and then kind of work out as you go and rebuild. Like, I'm still rebuilding our VSL. It's been like 12 months. So we've filmed about 8 of them. Even though they perform well, we go back and optimize, and we redo the email sequences, and we redo the processes, and I'm a bit obsessed over just trying to find a better and more streamlined way to do everything. So, but that comes later, once you've got the data and once you've just got the thing moving forward, right? This is a bonus tip. Never ask the missus. I have spent a lot of money on courses and like mindset courses, personal development courses, business courses. And I've never once asked my missus for permission, because I'm so confident these days that what I will do with the information provided to me in the course is I'll make that work. And that's just from doing all this dog work, right? I every time, I could come downstairs and the fucking money gets bigger and bigger every time I come downstairs and tell her. But I could tell her now that I've spent, 30k on something, and she'll go, fucking hell. But she'll know that it's going to come through, because I will always do the work and I'll always follow through. And saying that now, like at 32 years old, when, like I say, bottom of the barrel confidence and self-esteem, even 10 years ago, is like, I think it's a testament to all the kind of internal work that I've done. And I just think the biggest thing I would say is, to kind of finish on today, is your business will only grow as far as you grow as a person. Chase resistance, lean into it, and just try and don't make your life as hard as possible, but just find those uncomfortable positions and just constantly put yourself into them, and just don't hang about, just do the work. Like, just do it now, because I could have put this off till next year. I put it off admittedly, I put it off from February when Charlie asked me to do it, but it was something in my head. I'll only regret if I don't do it now. And I could do it 40 years old, do it 45 years old, but then ultimately I can just grow in it from there. So that's the biggest lesson, is just success loves speed. I'm not someone who even thinks of myself as successful, if I'm totally honest with you. But success loves speed, right? And don't hang about, and just biggest thing is the business will only grow as far as you will. So just do the internal work. Don't just focus on reading all the business books. Focus on understanding your emotions and how your thoughts are dictating everything that you're doing, and when to differentiate between thoughts that are, helpful and thoughts that just aren't helpful. And I genuinely think that this will be the biggest. It will underpin growth more than anything, because you'll actually make use of the shit that you're given quicker and more effectively. Yeah. Thank you.
In the last 6 months, we've helped 23 coaches break $100,000 a month. Dom is one of the ones who's actually broken $200,000 a month. If you want to be another success story and become another 6-figure monthly coach, there's information below this video to find out exactly how we can help you. Lastly, we have Irtaza. Irtaza has worked with us for 3 years. He came to me and his coaching business was making like 5 to 6k a month. He's now scaled that to over 40k a month. He has actually retired his mum and also moved to Dubai. This is an example in terms of someone who's been very, very consistent, been chipping away and consistently scaling their coaching business to actually live a life by design. If you check out the insights in terms of what he does and how he's done it, it's going to be very helpful for anyone who's maybe got imposter syndrome or fear they're not good enough.
Hello. Amazing, guys. So in terms of what I was going to speak about, I was going to speak a little bit about how you can turn your clients into a walking ATM. And what I mean by that is this is going to give you an unfair advantage in your marketing. Because if you can get more revenue per customer, this is what we probably did, I think, starting last February, but we owe a lot of success to. We run ads, but we always focus on more, not necessarily just what is client paying now, but how can we extend the lifetime value. So the next 15 minutes, I'm going to go through lifetime value. I'm also going to go through something that I've never really gone through previously. And I don't think I've shared it to anyone except for Chris, actually, funnily enough. And I'm also going to go through some back-end selling systems, how you can turn clients into walking ATMs and get a lot more revenue per customer. Because let's say someone signs up today, they make a few transactions. That's good, but how can you get them to extend the lifetime value so you can scale yards quicker? Before you do that, I'm also going to give a special honors to Charlie over here. That was Chris who did that, by the way. And so you guys may not be able to see it, but on the right over here, this is a message from Charlie around March time when I signed up to him. And I remember us being like, 4 a.m. in the UK doing DMs. And there's a big reason for that, which I'll dive into. When I started, I was in a place where I was having, normally people know, like panic attacks, couldn't sleep, dosing a lot of nicotine, and I was stressing myself every single day, and I had a lot of grey hairs because of it. And my business was in a place where I was 22 years old, making 6 figures, but I had the weight of the world on my back. And I'll tell you this because this actually drives me a lot every single day. It's something I think about every single day. So on the left is 23 years old Irtaza, that this is a moment in my life still think about a lot, is bit of background. Our family is a small family. We're in Manchester, and there's a few people from Manchester. And there's 2 women in my life, and my grandma and my mum, and we're the smallest family in the entire world. And overnight, we lost our grandma, and my mum was the full-time carer. And I remember seeing kind of the last few months, she's panicking every single day. She was stressing, she wasn't present. And for me at 23 years old, I remember Friday the 14th, October 2022, that was the last day our grandma was with us. And the day after, I remember this because it was leg day, it started as a fitness coach. I remember on the way to work for my mum, she was panicking, she wasn't present, she was breaking down. And at 23 years old, revenue wasn't in the best place. I was like, hey, leave your job, let's sit down, let's figure things out. And it's the first day I was actually, you know what, like a goal for me was to retire my mum at an early age. As a goal by 30, I did at 23. And I'm saying that because I think about it every single day since. And you probably get a bit emotional with it, but it's pretty much something that dives into a lot of the reason why I do things. On the right, it's 22.5 years ago, around March time, first day in Dubai. And this I remember was, again, 4 a.m. in the morning because I couldn't sleep, because I was still doing DMs. We had staff, but I wanted to make sure we don't miss a little single beat. And back then it was more, I made a video to myself, and I make this video every single year to myself. That was the moment where everything completely changed. It was a reason why I had to tell myself to back myself, that you are a man, that you can't take after your family. And I still watch this video pretty much every single week because it drives me literally every single day. Right? I can remember I probably have more facial hair now, less facial hair now, but it kind of is like almost a kind of feeling of nostalgia where it's like you watch that and you realize how you thought, how you spoke, and how things have changed. So that's the biggest driver. And I tell you this because some of you guys here may have goals to retire. Family, mum, dad, or a lot of you guys already have. Take the risk. Not only is it, again, good for tax, but it's more so when you've got a reason beyond yourself, you wake up, you attend sales calls, you do the content, you do the DMs. There's a reason bigger than just you. You're not just letting yourself down, you're letting someone else down. And for me now, if I've got things to do, it gets done quick. Like I remember in the Black Friday call, I was like, hey, I'm going to map out the entire Black Friday today, get it done before I sleep. And I tell you this because business without a reason becomes hard to justify the work. And unless you've got a reason beyond just making income, it's going to feel hard to scale. Right? So that's definitely needed. I recommend every single person find that and make it bigger than just you. You can look after yourself, but how can you make it greater than just you? Because that's more fun. Now, we're going to go into the good stuff. I'm going to show you exactly what we do in our fitness business. There's going to be a lot of different bits. I'm going to give you a little bit of scannable QR codes and documents because I think this absolutely helps us a lot. We spend on ads, but we get more revenue per customer on the back end because of what we do. So I'm going to be running through how you can turn clients into walking ATMs, how you can get more revenue per customer than you probably imagined. I'm going to go through ambassadorships, back-end selling systems, upsell, downsells, an essential model that we've been using has been extremely valid for us. Now, the reason I'll tell you this is because the biggest thing when it comes to scaling the business isn't just getting a pay in full, getting a few clients, is how you can get more lifetime value. It doesn't matter what they pay first, it matters how long they stay. Cash contracted, cash collected, we're looking at everything, right? And if you're scaling now, the biggest thing you want to do is make sure you don't just have clients coming in, clients leaving. You want to make sure you've got a repeatable system that you can have as well. First thing we started doing is a strategic downsell and upsell. So we've got the high ticket, which is the TMC Platinum. We've recently renamed it. We've got Men's Formation 90. It used to be Summer Body Breakthrough, Lean Body Breakthrough. We've changed a few names, but we don't use this as a downsell because we want to make a little bit of money. It's more of a trust incubator. And the goal here is to use what they pay for the downsell to ascend them into a high ticket one-to-one, right? And we do this quite a lot. And we sometimes sell it through the DMs. If you guys message me on Instagram, you can get the document as well. We do that quite a bit through ads. And the goal here is to build trust quick, deliver quick results, show value, get referrals, get people in, and to naturally send them into a higher 6 or 12 month program. this becomes a back-end selling system because you can scale it quite easily and the fulfillment is much less. And it's not just necessary to make money, it's to build trust quick, get them to renew early as well. Now, when we dive into the renewal, a lot of people here, they wait until, let's say, the client's about to leave, like a few weeks before, Black Friday. They almost wait until the last month. I would start to build that at the start because this has been huge for us. What we do at the start is we build trust quick. We incentivize the coaches. We make sure we give them a little bit more payments. And we give them essentially like a commission if they do renew too. And what we do 8 weeks in, we do this called a mindset coaching call. And we do that for 2 reasons. Instill trust, show them what's working, what they've achieved, what they've done in a short space of time, and inject out. So, hey, you've done this in 8 weeks. You signed up for 4 months. How can we extend that to a year? So let's say someone signed up for 6 months, 2K. We then make them a no-brainer offer. That could be buy one, get one free. They buy a year, they get 2 years. You can play around the pricing as well, of course, with that. But we make it a no-brainer offer so we can get them to re-sign. Again, if you want to build your monthly, get a down payment on that call and lock him into a contract if you need to. But we do this quite a lot because the goal is not just necessarily to get a few returns in terms of your ads, is to see how you can get each client paying more and to extend the lifetime horizon of the customer. But almost 6 to 8 weeks in, usually halfway in, that's where we get them on a call. So we deliver a lot of value quick. Then you get a one-to-one coaching call with me. It's more of a sales call, and we renew them early. Then the next bits we do every single month, we usually call them webinars. The attendance was low, which is one thing. We call it events. And that's more of a referral blast. And I'll show you how this ties next to the ambassador. But pretty much every single month, we do a virtual live event. Again, if you want to get content from it, you can do. Our members love it. They bring friends, people. We incentivize that. And we always put like a little Starbucks, Cafe Nero, wherever it is that day. I'm thinking we put like a coffee, like, hey, join us. Here's a coffee voucher. And you can join us for the event. That then directly, what it does is it gets people live in the call. And if you think of it, there's a whole saying when it comes to sales that if someone's going to spend £1,000 with you, you need to spend 60 minutes. So we make that 60 minutes long. We invite leads. So let's say they do an hour webinar with you. They do an hour sales call with you. They watch your VSL landing page. It's almost 3 hours. So it's much easier to sell. But we do this every single month, end of the month, around payday. And we invite members. We get our ambassadors to invite 3 to 4 new people that they think could be a good fit. We also get our VAs to invite every single non-closed lead who we can make an offer to at that time into the webinar. And then after that, obviously, we offer a sales call based on that too. Now, this one, if anyone wants to scan the QR code, you're more than welcome to. That's our ambassador scheme we use. Funnily enough, we recently have branded more towards men. But our TMC results page with our transformation page, we actually get a lot of women. That's through the ambassadorship as well. And the goal of that is to get clients that are about to leave or that have good celebrity-like status on social media and turn them to ambassadors and give them like a side hustle. So this could be something like, you can see this QR code as well because I'm not going to run through it. You discount the price of coaching, you give them free supplements, Lululemon t-shirts, vouchers, whatever it is, and they plant referrals for you. And we do this because we actually realize the return on us investing to our members gets us more than just ads as well. But if the client's about to leave, we've got, I think, 6 right now: Mitchie, Tracy, Jasmine, Eric, Liz, and Jack Dyson, who's left us now. But almost like we've pretty much got these people here bringing people to our webinars, bringing people to our world, and it costs nothing, right? So these are world-class clients that we made sure that can essentially keep the client roster going. I remember because of this as well, we had an event 2 years ago in Texas, and that all came from one ambassador, right? So back then it was more of a case we got a lot of clients, so we get clients, it would be like a nice little family as well. But the ambassador scheme is for, again, top performing clients. Is for clients that are on the risk of leaving, and you want to give them a bit of side hustle, and you also want to get them to actually start to refer friends, people they know, start showing social media. So QR code is there if you want to copy it. Hopefully it's viewable. Hopefully it's not on edit because that can get messy, but that's exactly what we do. And then the last thing we do, we have a heavy incentive in the front end. And to be honest, I do this because it's better for us to give the money towards our staff members than it is to Meta. If churn is low, we incentivize our staff heavily. You get $15 per client retained every quarter. We also use that not necessarily as performance pressure, but retention-based pay. They get the base, what they get paid per client, but they also get the commission on top of that. We also do a few little things where it's like if they're doing really well, the churn is consistently low. We may get them onto courses. provided they bring it back into the community. So they can create members area videos, resources, bring in the group calls, do the live events. But we incentivize heavily, and the goal is to find what your coaches value. Like our coaches, they don't just care about income, they care about, they want to travel, they want to have a good lifestyle, they want to be able to have good income, but it's not just about money. So we actually incentivize a lot with courses and so on and so forth. We do that because, again, I'd rather them come the money back into our staff and our members so they can perform higher and stay for a longer period as well. Then what we do is for clients coming on board, especially now where you want to get referrals quick, we double the referral bonus. And this is a little bit trick for everyone here. When you do your onboarding, do an onboarding presentation, show them what they can get as being part of this, show them a double referral bonus. Right, we use that as a value stack, so they get double referral bonus. They also get their entire supplements covered for free, which is about £70. Some creatine, some whey protein, do what you need to do. But based on this, guys, what we do, we don't just want to get clients coming in, paying a little bit, we want to get more lifetime value. That helps us scale, put it back into ads, and eventually build a bigger business on top of that. Hopefully that's it. And I think obviously, last thing I was going to say is, I think it was Jordan Lee that mentioned about hiring, which is a very good talk. But almost we incentivize heavily, and we always make sure we hire the right people, because the goal is to get elite coaches that you trust in, that are actually better than you are. Because if you think of it, I'm not sure if anyone's experienced it. When you get more clients, you start to wear lots of hats. You're doing sales calls, you're doing, ads, you're doing content, your delivery drops. So you get someone coming in, they're much more on top of it than you are, and your clients stay for longer. Initially, when you hire a coach and you hire staff, you may see a little bit of drop in performance, but you invest heavily back into them so that drop in performance gets offset in the medium term. And we had travel, like I think our coach now is in San Diego up until the 19th. Bad timing of Black Friday, but he's there. He's enjoying it because of the retention we've had the last 6 months. But so long as they bring it back into the community, so he's recording an exercise library, he's recording some, obviously some Loom videos as well for the course, and we also record some lead magnets as well based on that. But as long as it benefits your community, so it's a win-win, everyone wins at the end of it. And that's it for today, guys. I feel like I should have finished better.
If there's one thing I want you to take from these 5 stories, it's this. Results don't happen by accident. They happen when you stop relying on hope and start relying on structure and systems. Every coach in this video reached a point where trying harder wasn't enough anymore. They needed clarity, they needed a real system, and they needed to stop building their business on guesswork. The moment they made that shift, everything started to change. Not instantly, but consistently, predictably, month after month. And that's the part most people miss. It's not the big moments to scale a coaching business. It's the decision to stop doing it the hard way and start doing it the right way. And essentially, that's scaling your business on easy mode. These coaches aren't outliers. They're simply people who made the decision early enough for it to actually matter. So if something in their story resonated, if you saw a piece of your own journey in what they shared, don't let it sit as inspiration. Use it, build from it, and let it be your first stepping stone. And if you're ready to take that next step, the next video on screen will show you exactly what to do next. Click it and it will guide you through the entire process.